So today it's time to start the wet sanding of the gunstock. The first wet sanding we will do with just water. A very simple thing, just make it wet, then dry it down with a van, and then make some sanding to remove the fibers, and then we make the next layer of wet sanding with applying the sealer. That will fill some small gaps, holes, stuff like that. But first we will start with applying some water. So, and you can see some of the brass I leave inside, because especially the butt cap and some of the brass furniture, because that way I do not grind away the edges too much. So like this it's much easier to process. At these edges we have to be very careful, especially here on the bottom, not to grind away too much. So let's go. And what is really necessary, that you have good light to see the differences where you already have grinded and where not. And the rounded areas you will make later without a sanding block. Because here the sanding block won't help. So the sanding is pretty much done. I made the sanding here around the carvings not so perfect, because a little bit more rough areas will give a more plastic effect. Here the same. But to grind the corners, I used this, I would say, one-way nail file. They are really cheap and give a nice smooth surface. And you can grind in small corners very easily, especially around the carvings or on the cheek piece here. Because you are carving directly on the edge. So the sanding is pretty much done. And now we can apply the sealer. And when the sealer is applied, we make a wet sanding with sealer, because that will close some holes with grinding dust, and that will help a lot to get a very smooth surface. So let's go. So for applying the sealer, I use a brush. I put the sealer into a plastic cap. And don't forget gloves, because the sealer will penetrate your hands as good as the wood. And now we take some fresh 500 sandpaper. So you can see it starts getting a nice shine, and now we can dry it down with the van. Now again some drying operation. So, and now we can directly apply the next layer of sealer. So, you can see the shiny effect. It's a very glossy finish now. We are waiting a little bit, and then when the stock has taken all the sealer, then we apply even more sealer. So, here you can see the result for now. A very shiny finish. Still a little bit sticky. Before we right now put it down for drying, we rub down the sealer that is too much. So there's no more stickiness. For that, I use all old rugs from cleaning. My wife collects her old rugs because they are very used and all loose fibers are already gone. So it's pretty good for this kind of job. So that's all for today. And now I will hang it down for drying. And I hope tomorrow it will be nice. And then we will do the same job again. Because as long as the wood can suck any sealer, we will apply sealer. So, until next time.